Hello folks, Gamer Lon here, and I thought I would make a video about gaming and docs. Docs stands for Docked On-Screen Copyright Protection. So if you're a gamer in the early 80s and all the way to the 90s, like I was, when you bought games, they came with three things: the docs, the manual for the game, and the game itself, so that when you were playing the game itself wanted information from you to do certain things, and if you didn't provide the proper information the game wanted, then the game would quit. For example, if you played Legacy of the Ancients on the Commodore 64, you had to have the Galactic Code Wheel, and how this would work is every time you entered the Galactic Museum, the game would give you a world, a stone, and ask you to look up a ring number. So you would match this right here, if you can see this, and then you would look up the number that was down here, which is ring 4 or whatever, and you would enter that code into the game, and then you could enter the Galactic Museum. But the problem with this is that every time you entered the Galactic Museum, you had to do the same thing over again. Of course, with the PC version of Legacy of the Ancients, you only had to enter the Galactic Code one time. Some companies had you look up a specific page and count the paragraph 4, enter word 9 or whatever. That's what Might and Magic 3 did. So Might and Magic 3 created a Passage Through the Aisles just so you can look up words. Yeah, some of these games were a pain in the ass to get to, because every time you turn around, all the game wanted was information from you. This is a Telecaronia from the Pawn, if you remember the Pawn. Every time you got to move 100, the game would come up with a pop quiz asking you to enter information from their gaming manual. It was the same process as Might and Magic 3 had. A Telecaronia served two purposes. One was for game copyright protection, and the other was encrypted notes or clues in the back right here. Every time you wanted to solve a puzzle, you just typed in the encrypted notes or clues in the back. Dragon Wars was another game that hounded the player to look up information. All you did was look up paragraphs and read paragraphs. The Bard's Tale 3, Thief of Fate, was another game that was harsh on the player about entering information. Every time you would pass through a time period, the game itself wanted information from you. Bard's Tale 2 did not have copyright protection with it. This kind of makes you wonder why EA put copyright protection in Bard's Tale 3. And speaking of Bard's Tale 3, I don't know how Exile is going to get around the copyright protection when they remaster the game. Of course, you had LucasArts that did the same thing with their Monkey Island series. This one is Mix and Mojo. I don't know what game this was from. Dial a Pirate. I think these are both on the Amiga. Of course, Zack McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders. This was annoying to get through because every time you traveled outside of the United States, so to speak, you have to enter the Access Visa code right here. Now, I understand that when you travel outside the United States via, plane, that you have to have a passport, but this was pretty much uncalled for. Yes, they even had this. This was their sheet, copyright sheet, I guess, or right here. All these right here. I've heard of people copying all these Visa access codes just to play the game. Of course, then there was Pirates, put out by Microprose. When you played Pirates, you had to enter information from the manual. And the information you had to enter was when the treasure fleet would arrive on a certain time, in a certain month. If you got it correct, the game would let you play a normal game. If you got it wrong, it would let you play the game, but the game itself would treat you real badly. Guild of Thieves did the same thing that the Pawn did. Around Move 100, you would have to enter a password from What Burglar, and it would tell you to turn to a certain page, column 2 or whatever, and count the line 10 and enter word 4. And this also had cryptic clues with it. If you had a problem, you would enter the cryptic clues and it would try and tell you what to do. Today, most gamers don't have to put up with all this nonsense of on-screen copyright protection. But for those of us that went out and bought the game, this is technically a pain in the ass. Most of it was uncalled for. Now I can see maybe one time when you start up the game you have to enter some information to prove that you bought the game, but most of it was uncalled for. All it was just gaming companies trying to fight piracy. That's all it was. So this is Gamerlon signing out, saying thanks for watching and take care, folks. I will talk to you later. Bye.